In January, I bought a condo, and around the same time, I put out a video stating that you should buy a condo right now. And a few of you did, and you've done actually pretty darn well. And around that same time, I put out 2 videos all about neighborhoods you should invest in, if a condo specifically, and 3 neighborhoods that you shouldn't invest in. And I'm going to go out so far right now and say that information has completely turned on its head. But before I do, really quick, please, if you could just hit that like button. It would really help this information get out to more people that are also looking to invest within the city of Surrey, which might actually drive your prices up should you choose to invest. So hitting the like button is actually going to make you money. And also, if you did take my advice and purchase a condo earlier in the year, I'd love to know in which neighborhoods down in the comments below. And if you know how much that investment's already grown, toss it in down there. Okay, so earlier in the year, I told you if you're gonna buy a condo, you should probably invest in one of these 3 areas: Clayton Heights, King George Corridor. Well, I kind of said Grandview, King George Corridor. It's technically 2 different areas, but it's very much the same area. So let's say King George Corridor and Fleetwood. And the 3 neighborhoods I said to avoid were actually Cloverdale, Whalley, and Newton. And when I put Whalley on that list, or for you people not from Surrey, when I put City Centre on that list, my team immediately reached out to me and just basically said,
Steve, what is wrong with you? You're telling people they shouldn't invest in Whalley? What the heck is going on? Have you lost your mind? That's possibly the stupidest thing you've ever said.
But more on that in a second. So after those videos, immediately I did not take my own advice. I bought a property in Cloverdale, one of the areas I said not to buy in. And I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm probably up $75,000 or $80,000. And just to be a double hypocrite, I've owned in Newton before. I don't currently, but I've owned in Newton before. And that particular small little condo made me better part of $125,000. And to round out the triple hypocrisy here for you, I'm going to suggest now that Whalley is Whalley. Just again, I'm going to reiterate: City Centre for you people not from Surrey, Whalley for us from Surrey. Whalley is the best place to now purchase a condo, and I'm going to explain to you why. All right, you know me, I love my graphs, so let's pop into the stats right here. Again, Whalley is going to be the best bang for your buck, but let me go through my reasoning. I'm going to type in Clayton Heights first of all and look at apartments for benchmark price. And you're going to see that when I suggested you purchase within Clayton, benchmark price for an apartment was $530,000. It is now $596,000. The next area I said you should consider was, let's go King George and Grandview, but let's go King George Corridor. At the time, I have to switch back to apartments. At the time when I recommended it, we were talking $541, and believe it or not, we're now sitting at $613 for King George Corridor. These are obviously great gains. The next one is Fleetwood. And I'm going to do this real time so you can tell I'm not trying to fudge these numbers around at all. So Fleetwood came in at $483, and Fleetwood was actually the number 1 spot where I think you should have purchased. And now they're sitting at $552. So I think what you can see here is that these numbers have actually worked out extremely well, and I'm going to pat myself on the back and say, hey, I was correct, because the year over year numbers here are Clayton's up 14.7%, King George 16.6%, and Fleetwood Tynehead 16.3%. Now Fleetwood, the numbers seem to be quite low, and I want to explain why that is. There's not a lot of condo rental units within the Fleetwood area. So that's why Clayton and King George may actually be better. But now, let me explain to you why I think Whalley is actually the spot where I would put my money right now if I was betting. So let's go apartments. So Whalley, the benchmark price was, when I made the recommendation, was $385,000. Today, it is $418,000, only up 10, almost 11%. So my suggestion is that I was right. Like I said, I'm going to pat myself on the back. I like to say I'm right every once in a while. I think everybody does. But the growth that you saw in those areas that I recommended was fantastic. However, if I'm going to invest today, I don't really want to hop into a condo at these record high prices in those areas because it's a lot to invest. So I would actually suggest that Wally, at only $418,000 benchmark price for a condo, would actually be the spot I would put my dollars, because I'm going to get the most amount of unit for my money. So let me get back to the team calling me, basically they called me an idiot. They didn't like my opinion about Wally at that time because they think it's an investor's heaven. And well, I'm going to suggest that it probably is, but there's a few things we need to consider here. I now think it's a better investment currently because of the entry level. Most investors, or starting out investors anyway, can't afford to buy these $700,000 units. That's why we're buying condos in the first place, because we don't have the capital to buy, say, a detached property. If you can, for sure, buy a detached property, but we're talking about condo market and entry level investing here. Personally, I prefer condos because they're a lot less headache. The roof leaks, that's the strata's problem. The grass isn't cut, that's the strata's problem. It's not mine. But looking at, again, at that benchmark price of $418,000, I think you would absolutely be silly to not put your money there, specifically if you're just entering into that first-time investor situation, because you got a lot to learn, and you don't really want to learn it on a $650,000 investment when you could probably learn it on a $400,000 investment. But there are other reasons. Just recently, I was doing an evaluation for a 30-something floor high-rise in downtown city center. And the numbers that were coming out, I mean, you can get a concrete brand new build for somewhere in the $550,000 to $700,000 range, 30-something floor with a view. I mean, you can't beat it. You're within inches of SkyTrain because we're eventually going to get back to commuting here. And then you actually take that exact same budget, let's say $550,000. You take that exact same budget and you move it out to Clayton, and you're now getting, I mean, it's a very nice unit, but you're getting a low-rise wood frame, commuting via car for sure, no matter where you're going to go. So I actually think your bang for your buck that you're getting today is a lot better than it was, because Wally has only risen, what was it, 35 in the numbers here, $35,000 to $40,000. All these other areas are seeing between $70,000 and $80,000 increases just since January. But before you go too crazy about investing in Wally, I want to make sure I put this disclaimer in if you're thinking about Wally. I don't view Wally as a short-term play at all. Wally is not seeing massive growth, and that's pointed out here in the numbers. So your best bang for the buck is now Wally. But you're really depending on the fact that Wally's going to become the downtown of the Fraser Valley over the next few years, and that's not going to happen in 2 or 3 years. I think if you're going to purchase a condo within city center, your plan has to be to hold on for that for a minimum of 10 years, and likely in 15 years is when we're going to see the best growth. So there you go. Investing in Surrey condos has completely turned on its head since the beginning of the year. And I'm going to go on the record as saying, if I was to buy today, I wouldn't be buying the same thing that 6 months ago Steve would have been buying. I would be investing in Wally condos. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe and do yourself a favor. Make sure you hit that notification bell, because the next time Surrey flips, or you might be looking in a different spot or different price point, or something else happens, you want to make sure you get updates like this. So hit that notification bell for all notifications. And don't forget to comment down below if you own in any of these areas. I'm interested to see what you paid for it and what it's worth today and when you bought it and how long you plan to hold it for. Investing is awesome, and I love to hear about it. So please go ahead, pop it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in a couple of days.